the SecuX V20 hardware wallet. It is the Tesla of hardware wallets right now on the market. And by that I mean it is incredibly design and user focused, but it might not be to everybody's taste, particularly the crypto enthusiast. So if you want to learn a little bit more about this device, then stick around as I do a full review of the SecuX V20. Let's go. SecuX is a Taiwanese-based company that is going up against the likes of Trezor and Ledger in creating hardware wallets for your crypto funds. I'm guessing if you clicked on this video, you already know what a hardware wallet is, but if you don't, in short, it is a little hardware device, like this one, that holds your private keys and all of your memorable words to help you recover an account. No crypto is ever actually held on the device. It is simply used for authentication when doing transactions, be that sending, receiving, or trading. And this can be anything from the Ethereum network even to your NFTs. This device will run you about £120, which actually is very good compared to its competitors, particularly with its feature set. The Ledger Nano, for example, comes in at £140, whereas the Trezor Model T comes in at over £200. There are, of course, cheaper options on the market. I in fact did a review of one of them and you can check it out up here on the description down below, but they didn't have any of the smart Bluetooth features or the colour screen. So if you're really wanting all of the features that will allow you to be flexible in how you trade your crypto, this is one of the cheapest devices on the market to allow you to do so. SecuX also have other devices, including the W10, and you can purchase them all in the link in the description down below. Let's talk about the packaging. The packaging is really nice here, and it's very, very Apple-esque. It's simple, but also secure. You'll notice on each side of the packet, you'll actually have these stickers. If these stickers have been tampered with in any way, and they read the words void, you know that this has been opened or has been tampered with in some way, shape or form. If this is the case, send it straight back to the reseller and do not use it. In the box itself, you do of course get the device, a USB-C to USB-A cable, a little carry bag, and the instructions, as well as a place to hold your 24-word recovery phrase. Taking the device out, one of the first things that struck me about it was its sheer size. This thing is massive in my hand. It is certainly a two-handed device. It does appear to sit well in my hand because of its 12-sided design. The outside is gunmetal aluminium. The front is glass and holds that 2.8-inch colour touchscreen. The back is rubberized as well, which is nice, so you can place this on a table and it's not going to move around too much or slip and slide. Looking around the body, on the bottom we have a USB-C port. This should also be hidden by one of those void stickers. If it isn't, again, send the device right back. It's probably been tampered with in some way. Also on the top edge we have a power button to power on the device as well. Let's get this powered on and get the wallet set up. I think realistically this wallet is simply too bulky to carry around. You would need to have a separate bag. I can just about pocket it, but I probably wouldn't want to. So this is certainly a device that you keep at home or keep in a separate bag if you are travelling. To me, this does beg the question, why did you bother to design such a beautiful device if it's only going to be hidden away somewhere because it's simply too bulky to carry around? I suppose though the design does pay off, as this device is simply beautiful. The device is built with security in mind, with a military-grade Infineon security chip that basically is going to hold your private key and that recovery phrase as well. Even if someone were to come along and try to take this device apart, much like a James Bond gadget, it would self-destruct and become absolutely unusable. Whenever you're interacting with your computer through this device, your private key and the phrase actually never leaves it. It is all encrypted into this one chip. Setup and the overall usability of this wallet was an absolute breeze. Honestly, I feel like I could probably give this to my fiance or even my mother, and they'd probably be able to work out fairly quickly what they needed to do to start to use it. And this is a real plus in my book. For someone who is fairly new to crypto, being able to actually use a hardware wallet and understand it is key. During setup, you will be provided with a 24-key recovery phrase. This recovery phrase is incredibly important. You can either use the one that is given to you on the device, or you can generate one from an external website. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. Basically, this is your way to recover your wallet if you were to ever break the device, lose the device, or anything like that. Ensure that you write these down safely and securely. Don't have any cameras on like I have here. Make sure that you do it somewhere that you know you are safe and not being spied on, because at the end of the day, this is your money. What's really nice as well is you can actually just use a 24-key recovery phrase from a different wallet to actually import your wallet here if that is desired. I went ahead and created a new wallet just for this device so that I could have a little bit of a play and work out exactly how easy it is to use. You'll notice on the sheet there's actually room for a 25th word, and we'll come back to why there's a 25th word there really soon, but just keep that in the back of your mind for now. After this, you will also be setting up a pin, and this is where things get quite clever actually. It will randomise the pin pad position, so every time you turn on the device or unlock it, the pin pad is in a slightly scrambled position. So if someone were to just look at your thumbs, they wouldn't be able to work out your pin because they've changed based upon where they were before. A really important piece of security that I think is overlooked, but is done really, really well here. After you have set up the device, it's all going to look a little bit bare because you haven't linked any accounts to the wallet. So there are a few ways that you can do this. Unfortunately, there's no way to add accounts on the wallet itself. You need to do that through either the mobile app or through the web portal. Depending on what kind of currency you want to add, you will need to do a different method for each. Most people will be using an ERC20 token of some sort. For example, for me, I wanted to add hex token. In order to do this, I had to use the web portal, and we'll talk a little bit more about why I had to do that now. But of course, before we do that, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then one, lucky you. And two, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload. Connecting the device up to that portal or the mobile app is actually super duper simple. All you need to do is choose a wired or wireless connection. That wireless connection is done through Bluetooth, and yes, I know what you're saying, Bluetooth is not secure, particularly with this kind of transaction, and you'd be right. But SecuX have gone out of their way to try and make this as secure as possible, adding multiple layers of security to their Bluetooth protocols and having a one-time passcode. Basically, whenever you go to connect this thing, it's going to ask you for a PIN code which will show up on the screen of the device to stop any nefarious people trying to use Bluetooth to capture your data. When talking to the web portal particularly, I did manage to find out exactly what kind of data was being sent, including the X and Y pubs. Now, at first, this did ring alarm bells for me, purely because the XPub could potentially be used to identify you as a user. Thankfully though, that wasn't the case. Actually doing a little bit more reading into X and Y pubs, I understood that these files, though they could tell how much currency you had in a particular wallet, it would be very, very difficult to pinpoint exactly who owned that particular account just through the XPubs alone. But of course, this is still something to think about and keep in mind, especially if you're very big into your crypto. These files might not be something that you want to share, particularly through something like a Bluetooth protocol. Once you're all connected, this is where you're going to add an account to the wallet. This is unfortunately easier said than done. I actually found this incredibly difficult to do and was really not impressed. For example, trying to add hex is a ERC20 token. I had to first set up an Ethereum wallet and then add a token. There were a few options that were already here, about 30 of them, but I'd only heard of one of those, and that was Dogecoin. The rest of them seemed a little bit random to me. If I wanted to add any other kind, I actually needed to add a custom one, adding in the contract address, and a few other key pieces of information as well. For a newcomer into the crypto space, they do not want to be doing this. This is daunting, this is scary to them. But for people like me, or for people who have been in the crypto space for a little bit longer, I suppose this process is not as daunting as first thought. Once created and synced, they are just showing up straight on your wallet and they're ready to go. You will see a balance on your home screen, and when you tap into it, you'll see a QR code which can be used to send and receive really, really quickly. Honestly, I love how easy this is, particularly if you are already on an exchange. You can simply scan the QR code to send all of your crypto from an exchange like crypto.com all the way to your hardware wallet. The actual sending of the tokens, again, can only be done through that web portal or through the mobile app. You can't do it on the hardware wallet itself, but this is expected at this point. Let's talk about the mobile app for a second, because this is the most disappointing part of this entire package. The application is unfinished, it is buggy, and it is broken. Bringing it up on my iPhone here, you can actually see it's really hard to navigate because a majority of the icons are obscured by the very bottom half of my screen where I pull up to go home. As well, going into settings and trying to enable any kind of biometrics just crashed the app altogether. Once you've synced all of your accounts, some of them simply just won't show up. This was infuriating to me. I told you earlier that there were about 30 tokens that you could add from the ERC20, and this was fine. But for example, if I were to add Hex and then sync my accounts, they do not show up in the mobile app at all. Only the ones that are sanctioned by them, basically, the 30 that you can choose from in the list, only those will show up in the wallet. The rest of them just don't. Why? I don't understand why this is the case, and it's actually infuriating to see because I like to be able to check all of my accounts without having to start up my hardware wallet. I want to see all of them in one place, synced and ready to go. I would go as far as to say the mobile app is truly useless. If you are planning to do a lot of trading on your mobile phone, then this is not the wallet for you. At least not until they fix the majority of the issues that are present in both the Android and iOS versions of this app. As I mentioned earlier, there is a 25th word. Now this is actually for a secret wallet or a hidden wallet. The idea of this is it sets up a completely separate wallet and gives you a separate PIN to log into this account. Different access pins, different private keys, everything is different other than having that one extra word for your recovery phrase. This is really, really useful because if someone comes along and demands that you unlock your wallet so they can just take all of your funds, you can unlock either the hidden one or the main one, keeping the other one completely secure and hidden away from the user. They don't believe that there is a second wallet there. A really key point, but one that I don't particularly see myself using, as this wallet is not going to be going around with me, it's going to be living at home, as I mentioned before. If this is something that you are interested in and you do think could be useful, then the way that it does it is very, very clever and very user intuitive, as is everything else with the wallet itself. I did find that Bitcoin, particularly on this wallet, was a little strange. You can't have native SegWit accounts, for example. Apparently this is due to come in the future, but just keep that in mind that you can't have certain types of Bitcoin accounts on this wallet as of writing. So now to the question, would I recommend this wallet? And I think it's difficult. If you are a newcomer to the crypto space, then yes, I think this might be one of the best ways to get into it, as long as you don't buy a load of shitcoins and plan to stick to the majority of well-known cryptos such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. These are all pre-set up and very, very easy to manage on both the mobile app, the web app and the wallet itself. You will probably find SecuX's hand-holding to be a right joy, but if you're a crypto enthusiast, the hand-holding does get a little bit much at times, and I'm frustrated that I can't do a little bit more with the device. And also, SecuX's stance on not open sourcing their software and hardware is a worrying one, particularly as this is meant to be an open and decentralized space that they are working in. Not having open source content is strange and rather worrying because we don't know what this code is doing in the background and it's very hard to audit it. Apparently they are in the process of open sourcing some of their software, but some may not be enough for you, and it's something to keep in mind, particularly when looking at companies that you're looking to buy a hardware wallet from. Do you trust them? Do you trust their code base, open or closed? Anyway guys, what do you think of the SecuX V20? Let me know in the comment section down below, and also get subscribed while you're down there as well, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.